Have you ever heard of the woman who was kidnapped and kept in a box for 7 years? In 1977, 20-year-old Colleen Stan was hitchhiking from Eugene, Oregon to a friend's birthday party in Northern California. She had declined several rides before accepting one from a young couple by the name of Cameron and Janice Hooker. They were traveling with their baby, and I guess that made her feel safe enough to accept the ride. But it was a trap. Shortly after they got moving again, they pulled off the road saying they wanted to go exploring some nearby caves. It was at this point that Cameron held a knife up to her throat, he blindfolded her, and placed a wooden box over her head. This wasn't just a normal wooden box either. It was designed to restrict sound and air in a way that would cause her discomfort. He then brought her to their home in Red Bluff, California, where she was subjected to unimaginable conditions. And a quick note for context, Janice had helped orchestrate the kidnapping as part of a deal, so Cameron could enslave someone else instead of abusing her. Now, Colleen was confined in a coffin-like box under their bed for up to 23 hours a day, enduring extreme physical and psychological torment. The box that was placed on her head before wasn't just used for transport either. It became part of her daily life, isolating her senses to break her mentally. For nearly the first 3 years, she was kept almost entirely locked inside of it. Cameron convinced her that a powerful organization called The Company was monitoring her every move and would kill her and her family if she disobeyed. In January of 1978, he forced Colleen to sign a slave contract, renaming her to Kay and forbidding her to speak out without permission. Only after years of confinement was she granted limited freedoms like gardening or jogging. Though even with the freedom, the fear kept her from ever trying to escape. In 1981, Cameron allowed Colleen to visit her family alone. Still believing the company would do something to her, she didn't even mention this to her family. After noticing her handmade clothes and strange behavior, her family just suspected that she had joined a cult. A few years later in 1984, Cameron wanted to make Colleen his second wife, and this pushed Janice over the edge. Janice finally told Colleen that the company wasn't real and helped her escape, leading her to a bus station. Colleen, who was still mentally conditioned, actually called Cameron and told him that she was leaving, and supposedly he cried on the phone. Colleen and Janice initially didn't report any of this, but Janice would later go on to report it to the police months later, exposing everything and implicating Cameron in the disappearance of another woman as well, and her name was Mary Elizabeth Spanaki. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but her body was never found. Janice was granted immunity in exchange for her testimony. Cameron Hooker was arrested, and in 1985, he was sentenced to 104 years in prison. His parole had been denied repeatedly, most recently in 2022. Colleen Stan's resilience and survival is truly remarkable, and the fact that she never reported him really puts how badly she was manipulated into perspective. If you have any cases you'd like to see covered, please leave them in the comments below, and make sure to hit that follow button so you can be notified when I post them.